Welcome to Dreamy Nights. Unwind and drift away with soothing night stories crafted to calm your mind and lead you into a peaceful sleep. Each story here is a gentle escape where dreams come alive and your worries melt away like stars in the night sky. Relax, close your eyes, and let us guide you into a world of tranquility. In the quiet seaside town of Clearwater Cove, there stood a lighthouse perched on the edge of a rugged cliff, facing the vast and endless sea. The lighthouse was old, so old that it was said to have been built before the town itself. Its walls worn by salty waves and winds that howled through the night. For generations, it had kept the town safe, guiding ships through the thick mists and dark nights. And for as long as anyone could remember, the lighthouse had been tended by the Morrow family, each generation passing the responsibility to the next. The current keeper was a gentle man named Finn Morrow. Finn had lived his entire life by the sea, learning the rhythms of the tides, the calls of the gulls, and the whispers of the wind. He was known for his quiet manner and wise eyes that seemed to hold secrets of the ocean. Every night, without fail, Finn would climb the winding staircase to the top of the lighthouse, lighting the enormous lantern that would shine across the water, guiding ships safely to shore. But Finn had a secret he kept hidden from everyone, even his closest friends in the village. One evening, as he made his way to the lighthouse, a soft drizzle began to fall, and a thick fog rolled in from the sea. Finn pulled his coat tighter around himself, shivering slightly in the damp air. He climbed the familiar stairs, his footsteps echoing in the empty space. At the top, he lit the lantern, watching as its golden light cut through the mist like a warm beacon. As he stood there, gazing out over the waves, he felt a familiar pull in his heart, a longing he had never been able to explain. It was as if the sea itself was calling to him, whispering secrets only he could hear, and tonight the pull felt stronger than ever. For as long as he could remember, Finn had heard these whispers, a faint melodic song that drifted through the air on nights when the fog was thickest and the waves were wildest. He didn't know where it came from, but he felt certain it was calling to him, urging him to follow it to a place beyond the edge of the known world. Lost in thought, Finn didn't notice the figure approaching until a soft voice broke the silence. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" Startled, he turned to see a woman standing beside him. She was dressed in a long, dark cloak, her hair as dark as midnight and her eyes a shade of blue that seemed to mirror the depths of the ocean. Finn had never seen her before, but there was something familiar about her, as if he had met her in a dream. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice barely more than a whisper. The woman smiled. "My name is Lyra," she said, "and I've come to share a story with you, if you're willing to listen." Intrigued, Finn nodded. He had always loved stories, especially those told by the sea. Lyra took a deep breath, her gaze drifting out over the waves. "Once, long ago, there was a hidden kingdom beneath the waves," she began, "a place of magic and wonder, where creatures of the sea lived in harmony, untouched by the troubles of the surface world. The kingdom was ruled by a wise and kind king who loved his people dearly, and he had a daughter, a princess with a voice like the song of the ocean itself." Finn listened, captivated by the story. He could almost see the kingdom in his mind, a place of shimmering lights and graceful creatures gliding through the water. But one day, Lyra continued, her voice growing softer, a great storm struck the kingdom. Waves crashed and thunder roared, and the princess was swept away, lost to the wild sea. The king searched for her, calling her name into the depths, but she was gone, lost to the endless expanse of the ocean. Finn felt a pang of sadness, his heart aching for the lost princess and her grieving father. The king, Lyra said, believed that one day his daughter would return, guided by a light that would lead her back to her home beneath the waves. So he cast a spell, creating a lighthouse on the cliffs above, a light that would shine forever, waiting for the princess to find her way back. Finn's breath caught in his throat. The lighthouse, the light he had tended all his life, could it be? Lyra turned to him, her eyes filled with an emotion he couldn't quite name. The lighthouse keeper, she said softly, was entrusted with a sacred duty, a promise made to the sea. He would tend the light, waiting for the one who would return to the ocean, the one who would carry the song of the sea in their heart. Finn's mind swirled with questions, but before he could speak, Lyra stepped closer, her gaze intense. "Finn," she whispered, her voice as soft as the breeze. "The sea has been calling to you for a reason. You carry the song of the ocean, a melody as old as the tides. You are the one who was meant to follow the light, to find the kingdom that waits beneath the waves." A chill ran down Finn's spine, a thrill of wonder and fear. Was it possible? Could he really be part of something so ancient, so magical? Lyra took his hand, her touch warm and steady. "The time has come, Finn," she said. "If you are willing, I will guide you to the place where the sea meets the sky, to the edge of the known world. And there you will find the kingdom that waits, a place that exists only in dreams and whispers." Finn hesitated, his heart pounding. The sea had always called to him, but now the call felt stronger than ever, as if it was pulling him toward something he had waited for all his life. Taking a deep breath, he nodded. "I'm ready." Hand in hand, they descended the lighthouse stairs, stepping out into the misty night. Lyra led him to the edge of the cliff, where the waves crashed against the rocks below. As they stood there, the mist began to swirl around them, thickening into a shimmering veil that seemed to glow with a soft, otherworldly light. "Close your eyes," Lyra whispered, "and listen to the song of the sea." Finn closed his eyes, and as he did, he felt a warmth spread through him, a gentle, comforting sensation that wrapped around him like a blanket. He heard the song, a melody that drifted through the air, soft and haunting, filled with longing and hope. When he opened his eyes, he found himself standing on the shore of a vast, shimmering sea. The water was calm, reflecting the light of countless stars that stretched across the sky like a glittering tapestry. In the distance, he saw the outline of a castle, its spires reaching toward the heavens, surrounded by a soft, ethereal glow. "This is the kingdom of the sea," Lyra said, her voice filled with reverence. "A place of peace and beauty, hidden from the world above." Together they walked along the shore, the sand cool beneath their feet. As they approached the castle, Finn felt a sense of awe, a feeling of coming home to a place he had never known. Inside the castle, he saw creatures he had only heard of in stories, graceful mermaids with shimmering tails, gentle sea creatures that glided through the water like dancers, and beings of light and shadow who moved with an otherworldly grace. They welcomed him with open arms, their eyes filled with warmth and kindness. At the center of the castle, they found a throne made of coral and pearl, and seated upon it was a figure of great wisdom and strength, the king of the sea. He looked at Finn with eyes that seemed to hold the weight of ages, a gentle smile on his face. "Welcome, Finn," the king said, his voice deep and resonant. "You've heard the call of the sea, and you've followed it to its end. You are a true child of the ocean, a keeper of its secrets, and a guardian of its mysteries." Finn felt a warmth in his chest, a sense of belonging he had never felt before. He realized in that moment that he was exactly where he was meant to be. For many years, Finn remained in the kingdom beneath the waves, learning its secrets and sharing in its beauty. He became a trusted advisor to the king, a friend to the creatures of the sea, and a guardian of the hidden realm. And though he missed the world above, he knew he had found his true home. But one day he felt a familiar longing, a pull that led him back to the surface. He returned to Clearwater Cove, where he took up his duties as lighthouse keeper once more, tending the light that had guided him to his destiny. And every night, as he climbed the stairs and lit the lantern, he felt the song of the sea in his heart, a melody that would stay with him always. A reminder of the kingdom that waited beneath the waves, a place of dreams and whispers, where magic and wonder lived on, hidden from the world above. Finn Morrow returned to Clearwater Cove as if he had never left. The townsfolk noticed little difference. He was still the same quiet, gentle man who tended to the lighthouse with the utmost care. But Finn felt changed, as if a piece of him now belonged to the ocean. Though he went about his duties with diligence, a part of him remained beneath the waves, bound to the hidden kingdom of the sea. He had been gifted memories and melodies that drifted through his thoughts like waves rolling to shore. Every evening, after lighting the beacon in the lighthouse, he would stand by the window and gaze at the ocean, feeling the faint pull of the sea calling him back. The song he carried within him, haunting and beautiful, would echo in his mind, and sometimes, just sometimes, he swore he saw Lyra's silhouette on the horizon, her dark hair blending with the night sky, her eyes gleaming with secrets. One such evening, as Finn stood by the window lost in thought, he felt a shiver run through him, as if the ocean itself were whispering his name. And then he saw it, a faint glow far out on the water, a light that flickered and danced as if it were alive. The sight filled him with a strange sense of anticipation. It was the same glow he had seen when he first followed Lyra to the hidden kingdom. The light grew brighter, beckoning him, pulling him into a memory of the sea's song. But this time, the melody was different. There was a sense of urgency, a plea that stirred his soul. Before he could question himself, he descended the lighthouse steps and made his way down the cliff path toward the shore, following the glow. When he reached the beach, the light faded, leaving only the sound of the waves lapping at his feet. He closed his eyes, listening, feeling the pull of the song within him. Suddenly, a soft voice broke the silence. Finn. He opened his eyes to see Lyra standing before him, her cloak shimmering with droplets of seawater, her face filled with an expression of both relief and sorrow. Lyra, he breathed, unable to hide his surprise. Why are you here? She took his hand, her gaze intense. There is something you must know, Finn. The kingdom beneath the waves is in danger, and we need your help. His heart pounded as memories of the magical realm flooded his mind, the graceful creatures, the glittering palace, the feeling of belonging. But danger? He couldn't imagine such a place threatened by anything. What kind of danger, he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Lyra's eyes darkened. There is a creature, a being born of darkness and sorrow. Long ago, it was banished from the kingdom, exiled to the depths where light cannot reach. But it has found a way to return, drawn by the song of the ocean. It has grown strong, feeding on the fears and doubts of those who have lost their way. And now it seeks to consume the kingdom itself. Finn felt a chill run through him. The thought of such a creature lurking in the depths, preying on the kingdom's beauty and peace, filled him with dread. "But why me?" he asked. "What can I do against such a creature?" Lyra gave him a gentle, reassuring smile. "You are more than a keeper of the lighthouse, Finn. You are a bridge between worlds, a guardian of the ocean's song. The light you tend has a power beyond what you know, a power that can protect the kingdom if wielded with a pure heart." Finn hesitated, a mixture of fear and determination swirling within him. The life he had known had always been simple, predictable. But deep down, he had always felt a yearning, a pull toward something greater. "I'll help," he said, his voice steady. "Tell me what I need to do." Lyra's face softened with relief, and she squeezed his hand. "Thank you, Finn. Come with me." They walked along the shore until they reached a hidden cove where a small rowboat waited. Lyra motioned for him to climb in, and as he did, she took her place beside him, guiding the boat away from the shore and into the open sea. The night was quiet, the only sound the gentle lapping of the waves against the boat. Finn felt a sense of calm settle over him, a strange sense of rightness, as if he were finally where he was meant to be. He closed his eyes, letting the song within him rise to the surface, feeling its rhythm match the pulse of the ocean around him. Hours passed in silence until, at last, they reached the place where the sky met the sea, a place Finn recognized from his journey with Lyra all those years ago. The water shimmered with a faint, ethereal light, and as they descended beneath the waves, the hidden kingdom came into view, its beauty undiminished by time. But as they entered the heart of the kingdom, Finn felt a change in the air, a heaviness that weighed down on him, as if the water itself were thick with sorrow. The creatures he had once seen gliding gracefully now moved with caution, their eyes wary and fearful. The once bright corals and sea plants seemed dulled, their colors faded. At the center of the kingdom, they found the king seated on his throne, his face drawn with worry. He looked up as they approached, his gaze settling on Finn with a mixture of hope and desperation. "Finn," the king said, his voice weary, "you have returned in our hour of need." Finn bowed, feeling a deep respect for the king and the weight of the responsibility he had been given. "What must I do, your majesty?" he asked. The king sighed, his gaze distant. "The creature that threatens our kingdom is no ordinary being. It is born of the darkest depths, a shadow that feeds on despair. It has found a way to break through the barrier that once held it at bay, and now it seeks to consume the light that protects us." Finn felt a chill run through him. The creature's presence was like a shadow lingering at the edge of his mind, a darkness that seemed to seep into his very bones. "The light of the lighthouse," the king continued, "is the only force strong enough to repel this creature. But to wield it, you must confront your own fears and doubts, for the creature will seek to use them against you." Finn nodded, his mind racing. He had spent his life guiding others to safety, but now he was the one who would need guidance, courage to face the unknown. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder, her eyes filled with warmth. "Remember, Finn, the light you carry is more than just a beacon for ships. It is a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is a way forward. Hold on to that truth, and the creature's darkness will have no power over you." With Lyra and the king's encouragement, Finn set out toward the heart of the kingdom, where the creature was said to reside. As he walked, He felt the weight of his doubts pressing down on him, the fear that he was not strong enough, that he was not worthy of the task he had been given. But with each step, he reminded himself of the light he carried, the song that had guided him to this moment. At last, he reached a dark cavern, the entrance shrouded in shadow. He could feel the creature's presence within, a cold, malevolent energy that sent a shiver down his spine. Taking a deep breath, he stepped into the darkness, his heart pounding. As he moved deeper into the cavern, he saw a faint, pulsing light, a light that seemed to be his own, a reflection of the beacon he had tended for so many years. The creature appeared before him, a shifting mass of shadow and despair, its eyes gleaming with malice. It spoke, its voice a whisper that echoed through the cavern. "Do you really think you can defeat me, Lighthouse Keeper?" it hissed. "You are but a mere human, a fragile being of flesh and bone." Finn felt a surge of fear, but he stood his ground, his hand reaching for the light within him. He remembered Lyra's words, the king's wisdom, the song that had guided him all his life. "You may be strong," he said, his voice steady, "but I carry the light of hope, a light that will never be extinguished." The creature recoiled, its form flickering as if weakened by his words. It lashed out, its darkness swirling around him, but Finn held fast, letting the light within him grow, filling the cavern with a warm, golden glow. The creature let out a piercing scream, its form dissolving in the face of the light. As it faded, the darkness lifted, and Finn felt a sense of peace settle over him, a feeling of triumph and relief. When he returned to the kingdom, the people greeted him with cheers and gratitude, their faces filled with joy and relief. The king embraced him, his eyes filled with pride. "You have saved us, Finn," he said. "You have shown us the strength of the light, a power that even darkness cannot overcome." Finn smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He had faced his fears, confronted the darkness, and emerged victorious. And though he knew his journey was far from over, he felt a new sense of